Thank you all for being here on such a cold winter's night to come and listen to me. And indeed, whenever I talk to people about all the experiences I've had, they sort of go, oh, we'll never match it. And then I go, wait a minute. Please remember, I'm 61 years old. I've got a head start, you know. I've had a long time to do all these things. So that's why I can point to pretty much be there, had the t-shirt, probably burnt it, lost it, or had it stolen, kind of thing. Okay, let's get started. So if any of you would like to get hold of me afterwards, you're welcome to email me, or you can get hold of me via my friends who are here, and they'll make sure you get in touch with me. Tattoos. Well, there was a song made famous by Groucho Marx, which went something like this. Lydia, oh, have you seen Lydia? Oh, Lydia, the tattooed lady. She has eyes that men adore so, and a torso even more so. And of course, that referred to a period in American history where circuses used to have tattooed ladies as part of their freak show. As part of the, oh, do these people really exist kind of thing. And in a way, that reflects what many people think about tattoos. Why would someone sit down in a chair, allow themselves to be pierced by needles repeatedly for an hour or two? Think about the last time you went to the doctor and the doctor gave you an injection. Hurt? Yeah, pretty much. Now think about the doctor putting that same needle in that same place again and again and again and again and again, and he doesn't stop, except to wipe off the blood every now and then. That's pretty much what a tattoo is like, getting a tattoo. And of course, the word tattoo, very simple, comes from Polynesian, tatau, which means to make a mark. And that's what it is. A sharp implement goes in under the skin, and some kind of pigment is either rubbed into the wound or carried into the wound by the needle or the implement. Sounds like torture, doesn't it? So why would anyone go through it? Now, even if they have reasons for wanting to do that, there's another question. They have to pay for it. And tattoos aren't cheap. A very simple tattoo can cost you anything from $25 to $100. That's with a single color and with a very small design. More elaborate tattoos can take anything up to 3 or 4 weeks to complete, with 2 to 3 hour sessions each day, and can cost you about $5,000. Why would anyone spend that money? And of course, the social stigma. Having a tattoo. I don't know if you know who Margaret Cho is. She is an American Korean, and she has some tattoos, and we'll get into the reasons for her having tattoos. But she tells a story. Recently, she went to a jjimjilbang in Los Angeles. Yes, there are jjimjilbangs in Los Angeles. And there were some Korean ladies. They were ajumas, and they were very very upset with her for having tattoos. Good Korean girl with tattoos, and they actually kicked her out of the Jjimjilbang. So there's the social stigma. And of course, at the moment here in Korea, if you do go to a tattoo parlor, you are committing a criminal act. It is actually illegal. Only a medical doctor or a nurse is allowed to pierce your skin with a sharp instrument. There are changes perhaps coming, and a lot of the tattoo artists here in Korea are very happy about them. But at the moment they are all still illegal, so going to them makes you a criminal, which of course is the social stigma attached to having a tattoo. You are not a trustworthy person. So there's the pain, there's the cost, there's the social stigma, and then you might end up with stuff like that. Yeah, no regrets. Absolutely never. Or with that. I'm not sure what that is supposed to be, but it's bad. And of course this guy is definitely going to the place called Big. I'm not sure where that is, but he's using dreams to get there. And I think she left this guy right after he got this tattoo, because that's just bad. So you're probably going to end up, after all of that, with something like this. Why would you do it? It's crazy, right? Well, maybe not. In fact, if we want to understand why people get tattoos today, and what those tattoos mean, and why those tattoos are important to them, we have to go back in history a little bit. So bear with me. We're going back about 5,500 years when this guy died. He's called the Iceman, and he was found in a cave between Italy and Austria, up in the Alps. And he is one of the best preserved corpses we have where the skin has stayed intact. So we know that he was tattooed. He has these very interesting lines on his neck. He also has a couple of crosses at the back of his knees and a cross on one elbow. Some people speculate that this might actually have been medicinal, that a shaman cut in those places and rubbed in some medicinal herbs, and they discolored the skin, and that's why he has a tattoo. Others think, okay, maybe partly medicinal, but these marks seem to indicate keeping track of something. Maybe a battle he's won. Maybe how many deer he's brought home for the tribe. Maybe how many children he has. We don't know. We can only speculate. But we do know, more than 5,000 years ago, people were being tattooed. If we move forward a bit to the time of the mummies, we see this symbol, which many people feel is a religious symbol of some kind, on many of the female mummies that are of lower caste. So not the pharaohs and so on. These were like the concubines and what have you. And it seems to be some kind of a ritualized symbol. Again, we're not sure. We can only guess. What we do know is that this girl, who was found in Siberia, was definitely rich. She was upper class. She had jewelry and ornaments and the remnants of a very rich material wrapped around her. And you can see that her tattoo is definitely a stylized, decorative kind of tattoo. Probably done because she was of a high status. We don't know, we're not sure. And finally, we have over in Peru, this girl. Again, someone who was buried with a lot of artifacts, pottery and tablets and things like that, that showed she had a fairly high status in society. And facial tattoos reminiscent of the Polynesian tattoos as the Maori have them these days. So you can see tattoos come a long way, and they generally have a significance of some kind. We may not always know from history what that significance is, but we do know what the significance is today. Tribal tattoos have three things that they signify. They signify your standing in the tribe. Where are you on the ranking? They signify where you came from, who your mother and father and grandfather and grandmother were, and where they were in the tribe and what great things they accomplished. And they signify your dreams and hopes and what you hope to accomplish one day. All of those things are in the tribal tattoo. They are also a way of distinguishing between the time that you are a child and the time that you become an adult. They also signify that you have courage, the courage to sit and take the process. You have fortitude. You are able to withstand the pain. You are able to go through this ritual and come out the other side empowered. That's what we know from current tribal practices. But we also know that there's the criminal element to tattoos. How did that happen? How did tattoos go from signifying all those good things to signifying so many bad things? We have to blame the Romans. We blame the Romans for everything. You know, all roads lead to Rome. Well, in this case, it sort of took a detour via China and Greece. But yeah, basically in China, the ancient Greeks and the Romans, they tattooed criminals and slaves. Makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, if you dress a slave a certain way, or you dress a criminal a certain way to distinguish them from the rest of us, and they escape, what's to stop them from taking off those clothes and stealing your clothes and going away free? They'll look just like the rest of us. How are we going to know that they are criminals? How are we going to know that they are slaves? And so the practice started of tattooing them. And of course, the minute that you use something to say to people, this is who you are, they will generally take that and run with it. And so criminals said, fine, you're tattooing us to identify us. We're going to use it to show who are we affiliated with, who are we loyal to. And perhaps the best known example of that kind of thing are the Yakuza in Japan. Now, many people say that the origin of the Yakuza were actually the samurai warriors. The samurai warriors were disbanded by the emperor, and they were ordered to burn their armor. Each samurai warrior had armor that was handed down probably from his great-great-great-great-grandfather. It was a strong tradition. It was a proud tradition. And And now they were being ordered to burn those. They were disenfranchised in terms of their holdings. They became landless. How do you survive? Well, what do you know how to do? You know how to fight. Okay, I'm available to fight for you. You want someone killed? I'll do it for you. You want to get your neighbor to, give you some more land? I'll go and intimidate him. And how do I show people that I'm one of these? I have some tattoos done. And the tattoos, the Yakuza tattoos, have the patterns like this one, the dragon, or this one, the tiger and the goddess, to show which skills do I have? What can you trust me to do? And over the years, the Yakuza tattoos have become more and more elaborate. They have become bigger and very often cover the whole body. Because again, withstanding the pain shows your loyalty, shows your courage, shows that you are a strong man. So the more of you that is tattooed, the stronger you are. And we can see how the criminal element crept into it. So getting back to why. Why do ordinary people, normal people, housewives, not just rock stars, everyday people, why would they have a tattoo? Well, maybe it's because they want a work of art. Because sometimes you can get absolutely fantastic works of art. And it's your turn to collaborate with the artist and to create your unique vision. Something that is absolutely yours, that shows what you believe in, shows what you value, shows what is important to you. And sometimes it gets thrust upon you. That's a picture of my nose. And it's my visible tattoo. Yes, I have a dot. You can't see it very clearly. It's just about there. I got it when I was 8 years old. My first tattoo. And I got it inadvertently. See, I was in class, and the boy sitting next to me wanted to borrow my pencil, and I didn't want to let him borrow my pencil. It's my pencil. Why does he want to use my pencil? And so I said no, and he grabbed my pencil and he stuck it in my nose. Ouch. Sharp object piercing the skin with a pigment. And I went home and my mother squeezed my nose till the blood ran to try and get that pigmentation out. She did not succeed. And it was also my first introduction to the prejudice against tattoos. My family were the worst. The standing joke was, if you need something to write with, just sharpen Leonie's nose and use that. Oh, very funny. I had two choices. Either I could become totally introverted and sullen, or I could embrace this and say, but it's unique. No one else has this. It's only me that has this. It says something special about me. I stood up to someone. I didn't allow him to just take my pencil. I stood up for my rights. I became a fighter. And in fact, in South Africa, as it was when I grew up, there was a lot of fighting to be done. There was the fight against the injustice of apartheid. There was the fight against a lot of hatred. Not just between black and white, but between between white and white. You see, I'm an Afrikaner, as you could tell from my surname over here. And in fact, the Afrikaners were supposed to hate the English. For me to speak the English language to you, for many of my family, I am a traitor. I have gone over to the enemy. But as far as I'm concerned, what enemy? We're all people. Why can't we just get past our differences? So maybe that paved the way for my next tattoo. That's this shoulder. And it's a dragon. And the reason it's a dragon, it was the year before the millennium, 1999. Who remembers 1999? We're gonna party like it's 1999. Yeah? Right. It was the year that everyone was going, oh my God, the world is going to end. It's going to be disaster. We're going to be swept under. The Y2K virus will get us all. Okay? None of that happened. It was also the year that my son became 18 years old, an adult. I was no longer the mother of a small dependent child. I was now the mother of 2 adults. I was also a widow, making my own way in life. And I decided it was time to mark the transition. And so I decided that for me, the symbol of the dragon, wise, powerful, scary, but able to do great things, is appropriate. And so, that's where that came from. And it's also the year that my son got his first tattoo, which was a tribal symbol. A couple of years later, my daughter went through a very, very bad experience. The man that she had married got her dependent on drugs. I intervened, and I had to go to the police, and I had to ask them to arrest my daughter and take her to a mental institution, because it was the only way of saving her. And it was 2 years of absolute hell. There were times that she told me that if she could, she would kill me. If she could get something, she would kill me. But slowly, we worked through it, and we got through it. And at the end of it, she emerged with her sanity intact. I emerged, again, stronger than I had been before, better than I had been before, more understanding of myself and of people than I had been before. And we had to mark it. And so, I got for her my scorpion. I am born in November, so my zodiac symbol is the scorpion. And scorpions are small, but don't step on them, because you'll be sorry. They may look harmless, hiding under the rock, being unassuming, but when needed, they'll come out and they'll get you. And for her, the dragon butterfly. The strong dragon and the beautiful butterfly merged into one, showing that she had come through a transforming experience. Like the butterfly goes from the worm through the chrysalis to the beautiful creature it becomes, so she did this. So maybe this answers a little bit about why people get tattoos. So now let's get to my second thing. How do we judge people with tattoos? Do you see me differently than you did when I first started? Now that you know that I have 2 tattoos, 3 if you count my nose. Do you think of me as an untrustworthy person? Do you think of me as someone dangerous? Someone that you should perhaps not know? Well, let's do a little test. Which of these 2 gentlemen would you take home to meet your mother? Gentleman A or gentleman B? Who says A? Okay, B? Congratulations, you just went home with Ted Bundy, the most notorious serial killer in the United States ever. Evil is not always visible on the skin. It's not even visible in a smile or in the eyes. It is only visible in actions. If you are going to judge anyone, judge them on their actions. Be wary. I'm not saying trust everyone. I'm not saying go blindly into every situation. But what I am saying, don't judge until someone has had an opportunity to show you what they are and who they are. And then you're welcome to judge. Thank you very much.